Hey everyone, welcome to the Bold Today Show. I am your host, JD Houvener, managing partner and owner here at Bold Patents Law Firm. This is our weekly show, and you've made it. We want to welcome all your live questions about patent law. So if you're an inventor, entrepreneur, business owner, you're in the right place. And if someone sent you here, you're very welcome. And hopefully you can share this with those that you know on social as well. I'm here every week, 9 a.m. Pacific on the West Coast, noon at your lunch break on the East Coast. Today, I've got a cool topic today, right? This is something that's on everybody's mind. They're probably sick of hearing about it. But I want to mention, right, the pandemic, how has it changed innovation? All right, so that's the big question for today. One quick disclaimer, as I usually throw up on the screen. This is yes, I'm an attorney, but this is not a legal consultation. So please just bear in mind, do not share confidential information. All right, please do not share your invention here in this platform. This would be a great place to come and share maybe your story or ask a question about the process, use hypotheticals, okay, have some fun with it, and we'll just have a good time. Today I've got potentially two guests, but I want to bring on our first guest, who's a longtime friend and colleague of mine, Carmine Danisco, who has recently been named the president of the United Inventors Association, the UIA. It's wonderful to have him on, a privilege to have him on our program. So I'm going to bring him on, and then we'll have a short discussion and bring on questions there. So Carmine, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, JD?
I'm doing really good, really good. So fun having you on, as always, Carmine. So thank you for making time. I know you're getting busier and busier. You've got multiple companies, and you're also now the president of UIA. So congrats on that new role.
Oh, thank you. I'm a little nervous. Live show here. This is new to me.
Yeah. Well, it'd be fun. I'm looking at, unfortunately, we got 0 viewers right now, but hey, we can only go up from here. We just got 1. All right. So, and this is, innovation in a pandemic, and you're now the president of one of the biggest organizations about invention. You've probably got a ton on your mind coming in new to the role, but what are sort of some of the big themes, things that you want to come in and maybe make a change in the organization?
Well, that's a good question. We have taken a hit at the United Inventors Association because our big thing is live events. I mean, we travel around the country, sometimes the world, attending events, talking with inventors. We have inventor areas, and inventors bring their products in at these events and shows and product shows. So that really shut us down in a sense. But we have been doing a lot of virtual events to keep that going. We have a huge following. We have, tens of thousands of members at the UIA. And they're thirsty for information, for knowledge, for help, for experience. So that's what we're trying to provide online, like everyone else. So it has been a challenge.
Right. And I hadn't had the privilege of being at one of those live events. But I mean, yeah, it's going from touching and feeling products and shaking hands. I mean, obviously, it's a different thing. What has been the 1 or 2 most successful things about doing the virtual events that you've seen?
Just the events that we have with experts, bringing out people who have gone through the process. They've sold products, they've invented products, and they're really telling exactly the nuts and bolts, the down to earth stuff of what to expect when you're just starting out. I mean, the UIA wants to be that next step. If that inventor wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're like, oh my God, I had this idea, we want to be what's next.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think with having the virtual event, it sort of reduces a bit of the barrier for some people too. So maybe it could mean eventually, while it's kind of a bit of a dip now, it could mean a big surge later, because you got people that maybe couldn't fly, couldn't afford it, just too nervous, scared about being in person, bringing their invention to the showroom floor, but they can maybe now feel more at ease, asking questions, learning about it. Are you seeing some of that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if one thing that has happened with this pandemic is that it's knocked down the barriers of people who didn't want to do virtual stuff, who didn't think they could get online and use Zoom or whatever program they're going to use to talk to people. And now it's a norm. So it's really going to help. Now we can have a hybrid of events, live events, and virtual events, and mix those together. We've really connected not only the US, but the whole world.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how you do this. So a lot of times we get, people that call us, right, inventors that are just getting started, and even though we're a law firm, they're nervous. They're sometimes, I don't want to call them paranoid, but they're scared about sharing their baby. Right? This is something they've worked on for a long time. And I wondered, well, if your organization experiences the same thing, are people afraid to share in a community setting? How do you help them kind of, what's their first step? Like, well, what are the first things that you find inventors are able to latch onto with the UIA?
Yeah, so what the number one thing, as you know, is fear. Fear-based inventors. Inventors are fearful because that's what they hear about. And I can tell you that fear will slow down your progress, all you inventors. There's things to put in place, things to stop the fear that you can do. It allows you to move forward. So all the things that you talk about, JD, how to protect your idea, how to move forward, you have to keep that forward movement. Get that fear out of your head. Be cautious, but don't let fear take over.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost like, you can't, you can't be too safe, meaning to be in business, right? And the reason for patents, for one, is to make money.
Yeah.
Let's just cut through a lot of this.
Yeah.
You're trying to make money. And so to do that, you're going to do a whole host of other things in terms of setting up a business, having conversations, relationships, and being human, making mistakes. It's okay to be to fail and to not know everything. And I feel like people are still in that, mentality of, oh my gosh, I'm so fearful, like I'm not perfect. And of course you're not. Please, well, we welcome failure. So, and this is a great organization to kind of prop that up and allow for that atmosphere.
Yeah, 100%. I love when people are cautious, they have a plan, but they're not fearful because they talk to the right people. They have the right things in place. It's so much nicer to be able to move forward and not have a worry. Worry in the sense of, am I doing the right steps? But not worry where somebody's going to steal my idea. There's a lot of misconceptions, and that's why the UIA is here.
Yeah, well, good stuff. Well, I know you guys are doing a lot of good work. Let's put a quick little promo. Do you have an upcoming event that we maybe could highlight and put a link into?
Yeah, well, every Thursday at 2:00, we do a live event. It is the UIA educational series. So every Thursday at 2:00, we do a live event at UIA TV on YouTube. It's streamed live. And we also have we have the recorded versions that they can go back and listen and watch and listen to. We use YouTube, obviously, because of the video side of it, just kind of like what you're doing, which I think is awesome. You can always listen to the sound side. But the video just seems to hit home better. We have some great, the guests that we have on are awesome.
Excellent. Well, we'll check those out. It's every Thursday, and it's a live UIA TV.
Yeah, UIA TV on YouTube. And you can also go to the UIA website and click at the link that'll bring you to it. So it's UIAUSA.org. And that'll show you a lot of events that are upcoming. Nice.
Okay, I hate to multitask while I'm trying to.
No, that's okay, man. I think it's great.
There is the link right there to your YouTube channel. I just clicked on it. I heard your beautiful voice come in, Carmine. So I love that. We got Brian. Brian, welcome to the show. So Brian's asking, I'm bringing a new product to market. I surround myself with smart people who know much more than I do. Right on. Thank you for sharing that, Brian. Yeah, it's amazing. It's the classic thing to say. And as I kind of go down my journey of going to law school, right? Thinking about, I'm going to practice law, everything, right? Okay, I'm going to do intellectual property. I'm going to do patent law, right? Super niche focus. And even though I'm in that niche focus, I realize how much I don't know, right? About, even patent law itself when it comes to litigation. So you need experts. You need people that have decided to specialize and any endeavor you go down. So thanks for sharing that, Brian. Cool. Well, so I put that YouTube link. People can definitely follow you there. And you mentioned one more website. I want to put that down. What was the main website for the UIA?
The UIA, it's UIAUSA.org, which is the main UIA website. Go ahead and be a member. It's free. It's free to join the UIA. We have tons of free resources. We're constantly building out. That's one of my main goals, to build out the UIA website. We're going to have a knowledge base and different things. We're going to hope that JD is a part of our build out there. You have a wealth of knowledge, so we would love you to be a part of that help.
Wonderful. Okay, Carmine, I want to put you backstage. Anybody that's thinking about asking them questions, put them in now. We'll bring Carmine back on in about 10 minutes. I've got to jump to some questions here. So hang on, Carmine.
Thank you.
All right. Well, great deal. I've got a couple questions that came in. Looks like actually 6. 3 patent questions and 2 trademark. So this first one here, and I'll put this in the comments, came in from New York just yesterday. hopefully it's going to fit in the box here. They ask, I wanted to know if I have an idea to improve and it says Google, but they meant goggle, for new construction hard hats. Will I benefit from it? So they've got an idea to illuminate the goggles on new construction hard hats. Will I benefit from it? I love this sort of innocent question, and it's wonderful. Well, I benefit, yes. The whole point of patent law, I mentioned this earlier, is to reward inventors, okay? The government, and I mean, way back, not just talking, 20, even 100 years ago, but going back to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, the founding fathers believed that it was that important to benefit the knowledge, right, of all of our inventors, everyone in the country. We want to, hey, inventors, please tell us what you're doing. Tell us your invention, and we're going to reward you with a monopoly, right, limited exclusive right to make, use, and sell that invention in the US. So you bet you'll benefit from it, right? If you're able to monetize an innovation in illumination for hard hats and helmets in construction, absolutely. And you should know too, that a lot of inventors wonder, hey, gosh, so my invention isn't really a brand new thing. It's just sort of an improvement. Is it still viable? Absolutely. I mean, I think the majority of inventors, 90% of the patents that are granted today are improvements. Okay, they're even subtle improvements, and those improvements can make a big enough difference and be market movers. So I know it's a long-winded way to answer that, but the answer is yes, you'll benefit from it. So let's go back to our other question along the patent lines. This one came out of Shahola, Pennsylvania. Shalola, excuse me. All right, so it's a little bit longer. Let me just do this first part of the question. And I am reading these live. Some of these I've read in the past are obscene, unfortunately, so I can't answer all of them. This one is not. Can I legally combine or use 3 other products to make a third product that it's original? They go on to ask, the products are hardware type products, and I'd be buying the products from a manufacturer, right, off the shelf to begin with. And they don't want to infringe and have retaliation. I'm combining and creating a new device to be resold for profit. Okay, so you're putting components, I think you said 3 other products, putting them together, right? And hopefully, and you're saying, is that patentable? I think that's what you're asking. And the answer is perhaps, okay? And so that is a type 2 utility invention. It's an assembly of products that already exist in the world, but they're being put together to form a new invention. So the question, of course, is it the first time that those 3 things have been put together before, right? That's novelty. The second one, which may be trickier, is it an obvious thing in the industry? Is it well known that you could combine those 3 elements, whether it be through publications, education, state of the art, that it would be, yeah, you could add that third thing. And here's a discussion board post about how you could easily add that. Or is it non-obvious to add those 3 things together? So if you're new and non-obvious, you are patentable. And so it certainly is something you could protect. A quick note on that is you should still make sure that you're not going to be infringing on the underlying patent holder. So it's different to answer, hey, could I get a patent on this, than it is to answer the question of, hey, can I sell this and avoid infringement? So it's a totally different question, and it's going to depend on what you actually end up going to market with. And if there are any aspects of what you're selling that are protected by the claims of another patent, okay? So it doesn't stop with just, is it patentable? You've got to explore other areas once you go to market. So thanks for that question. It was really good. Let's see if we have any live questions that are following up on that. Nothing yet. I'll go to our third question on patents, and then we'll scoot over to a couple of trademark questions. This is out of Oakland, California. Let me click on this one here. Okay, and I'll try to get the whole question in. There we go. I think I did see a live question come in from Rockstar Gaming. Okay, I'm going to jump to this real quick. So mobile and web app patent focused question. Our visual product is ready. Screen grabs of how the product will look are available. Do I file for a design patent or a utility patent? Great question. I love it. So this could be both. Okay, if what the software is doing, okay, if with the mobile app and the method that you've applied, if it provides functionality that hasn't existed before, and it's not an obvious, combination of elements from different apps, and it was well known to put them together, then you should proceed with exploring a patent search to seeing if you can secure a utility patent that is going to provide you broader protection. If really it's not all that novel and you don't think it's that differential and going to be a big impact on the functionality side, yes, there are ways to protect the user interface for digital products, including mobile apps. And you can do that quite easily, right? But you want to make sure that it's going to be worth your while. If you can say, yes, for sure, we have a specific style of maybe a template or a background or a layout within your user interface that's going to be constant, right, throughout the app, that's a great sign that you should probably secure design patent protection for it. And again, to get a design patent, it has to be new. Okay, it has to be new in a non-obvious version. Now you should also know that for utility, you can secure a provisional, meaning it's a less formal application that gets you your foot in the door and it gets you that patent pending status and that filing date, all important filing date. So any inventor that comes after you will lose to that priority battle. Know that there are no such thing as a provisional design patent. So if you're going to proceed with the design to protect the user interface, there is no provisional. It's just all in or not. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Roxa. Thanks for that. I always like answering live questions first. Looks like Brian's got another follow-up. How long does it take to get a trademark registered after coming off a publication for opposition and filed for terms of use with the Uspto? I am a patent expert. I do special in patent. I don't tout myself as to be a trademark specialist. We do have a trademark attorney on staff here that could probably answer that better. If I was to make a guess, Brian, I'd say 9 months to a year. Okay, way shorter than patent. Right, patents I say 1 to 2 years, sometimes more, depending on how hard you fight. So hope helps answer your question. I mean, months versus years on trademark side. Okay, last question I want to do on trademarks, then we'll bring Carmine back on. Those are good questions there. Oh, excuse me, I didn't actually answer that question on patents. Let me go back up. So the question is, I applied for a patent application online, and you're welcome, Flavio. I'll get to you in just a sec. I applied for a patent application online, and my ideal information was one of the requirements. The company was trademarkplus.com. How can I secure my information and idea? March 18th, 2021 was my submission, and there was a privacy disclosure checkbox. But I do not want anyone to steal my idea. What should I do? Not quite sure what's going on there. Companies like trademarkplus.com, what triggered in my mind is that they're just trying to sell you something. And that happens a lot when you apply for certain things, right? Certainly trademarks, once they become published, right? Once you apply for a patent application, 18 months later, it will become published. And there are a lot of companies out there that will try to sell you additional services, okay? Monitoring, marketing. Once your application has become public, then they're available to see that and then send you marketing, try to sell you. I'm not quite sure if I follow that question all the way, so I'm going to have to kind of pass on that, take a sidestep. Okay, so Flavio, let's go to your live question, and then we'll go to one more trademark question. You have Swirl Fork. I know your Swirl Fork is awesome. LLC, love it. So what happens if someone makes a trademark of Swirl Fork? Well, just because you formed a company doesn't mean you have ownership of a brand, okay? There are a couple things going on. So likely, it depends on what state you're based out of. There are state trademark laws on the books in every state, okay? So there are state trademark rules. If you're using a name, like a DBA, or if you're out, even if it's like a physical shop, right, and you're hanging a shingle, Swirl Fork, right? We sell Swirl Forks. You're going to have some common law trademark status and actually some authority because you've been using that name to sell your goods, potentially services, if you're consulting on how to swirl the fork. California, okay. Yeah, California for sure has trademark law. So, but the issue is that you have not, you have not sought federal registration. So you will need to file for for swirl fork registration to get protection nationwide. Let's say if someone beats you to it and they file their own swirl fork, it's going to depend on what their priority date, their earliest use in commerce. And the trademark office will ask for what is the earliest time that you have sold your products, your first use. And that is going to be critical. And if your first use, right, is earlier than theirs, you can oppose their registration. And there's a process for opposing it. You can say, no, actually, I was using swirl fork way before these guys, and I deserve the registration. So you watch that. Just be very careful. You can hire a firm like ours or a different firm to monitor the Gazette, right? The trademark office will publish these in their gazettes. And if you're not watching, they will get a registration, and you'll have to then take them to federal court, which would be very expensive to try to correct. Okay, good questions, Flavio. And I want to bring Carmine back on to see if he can answer any of these questions or add some additional flavor. Carmine, welcome back. Anything to add from some of these questions here?
No, I mean, you covered them pretty well. I mean, if there's anything specific or any question I could add on, but I think that, yeah, I was listening in. You got some good questions. You got some people listening in.
Absolutely, man. This is good. This is picking up. We got 8 live viewers, 2 thumbs up. Speaking of that, we want to get as many thumbs up as possible. So please just give us a like and share this with your community. Flavio, I love your questions. And I love swirl and twirl, man. Nothing wrong with that. That sounds like a great, go-to tagline, slogan.
I love that name.
I've actually pulled this stuff up. It's a fork, and the tines of the fork are what do you call it? Swirl? Is it wrong word? No. They actually,
they're curled around.
Curled around. There's a technical term that's escaping me. Flavio, maybe you could enlighten us. But he is a patent holder there. So hopefully that made sense regarding the trademark stuff. The trademark is a fascinating spiral. Thank you. Spiral tines. And so, yeah, it perhaps makes it a lot easier to actually twirl. And it's a good example, too, in that a design patent, while the protections that he has cover just what it looks like, in a function, in an actual built, article of manufacture, that is the fork, sure, it has functionality. So you kind of get a little bite at both apples if you secure design patent protection in the right way, as it looks like you did. So what I want to do is wrap the show up. Carmine, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome having you. And again, thank you for your time. For those that may have missed it, scroll up. You'll see the link to get educated. Join United Inventors Association. It's free for now. And I think you should join while it's still there. Carmine is brand new president. He's going to be shaking things up and adding more content, making it a place for inventors to go. So if you're just thinking about how to get started, you're not sure, go to the UIA, go to their YouTube, check out Carmine. He's delivering a lot of really good information. So thank you, Carmine.
JD, thank you, man. And again, as usual, thanks for everything you do for the event industry. It's awesome. Absolutely. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Go big, go bold.